everybody. How we all doing? Everybody wave. Hi, good morning. Uh, Welcome everyone to the channel. If you haven't been here before, welcome. We're excited to have you. This is a charity channel. So if you would like to affect this game that you're about to be introduced to, you can do so with your bits, subs. All that money goes to the Trevor Project at the end of the month when Twitch gives me a payout. Our most recent payout came through this week, and we will be donating $173 to the Trevor Project as a community. Thank you, everybody. Y'all are awesome. And with that, I will go ahead and hand it over to Satan. Kick us off with our intros. No, me. Hang on. Sorry, chat. We're back.
Thank you, Energized K, for letting us know. You can always count on you guys to let us know when something's going wrong. Um, so, uh, let's start off with intros, and then we're gonna do our channel information towards the end, where our lovely Sarah will give us all the awesome information about this channel, what we do here. But hi everyone, my name is Satan. Today I'll be your DM, and I'll be taking my friends through this lovely, lovely world that they've helped me create. But my friends, these lowly friends, who are they? We're about to find out. RJ.
Hey everybody, I'm RJ, but today I'll be playing Roland Granbrook. He is a sorcerer cleric, half elf. No, he's an Asmar now. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jen. I'll be playing Anthony Silverhorn, the Drow Barbarian Artificer.
And that leaves me. Hey, everybody. I'll be playing Lucy, your changeling wizard warlock.
And to do a little recap of what happened last time, you had just finished your mission at the Dread Isles. Um, Unfortunately, the cult went off with the artifact, a gauntlet of sorts. You're not sure, didn't get a quick look at it before the cult leader took it and just disappeared. So you came back. You gave your reporting to the Lady of Twilight, who was very business, all business. Um, and we ended up with everyone going to their respective rooms. Milo and Butterfield left us for the time being. Um, but it's going to be the next morning. Rollin, you would have been offered lodging at the court. You have a regular room. You've stayed there for a while. And Lucy, you left with a big cuddle fest with Jack in your room. Because, and I don't mean any euphemisms. It was just a cuddle fest. Because damn did she need it. But yeah, the floor is yours.
Roland is, if he knows he has an appointment with the Lady of Twilight later on,
Yes.
he's probably gonna wake up really early in the morning to head to his parents' clinic.
Mm-hmm. It is not a huge clinic. It's a smaller one, but it is outside the court. Um, Tell me, is it still in the Twilight Realm or is it in a different city?
It would still be in the Twilight Realm.
All right. Uh, like I said, it is not big, but it is placed in the more uh in the housing area of the Twilight Realm. It is where all the courtiers and workers have their lodgings. And thanks to your parents opening up that clinic, a lot of the native life and creatures from the Twilight Realm can go to them for help should they ever need it. So they serve mostly Fae or Fae like creatures, but it is not. Um, it's not fair to treat regular humanoids such as humans or tieflings or such like that because there's a mixture of race within the workers of the Twilight Court. But it is still open. It is early. They had just opened. They don't have too many people, but you see when you come in a tiefling. They have uh, a they have a rag pressed against a half horn, and you see the rag's a little bloody. They're young. They're with their parents. Um,
There's two elves there. One's younger, one's older. The younger elf is holding a bow, really scared. The older elf has an arrow in his shoulder, and he looks really proud.
oh, for sure. There's two kids. One that's very scared that his horn was like broken off with his mom trying to comfort him, and the kid with the proud parent with the arrow in their shoulder. They both look very proud.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
He'll just walk behind the counter, look at like a couple of clipboards, and then set it down. They'll be with you shortly.
You see coming from a room in the back it's it's a rabbit folk. You see this they're about they're short. They come about to maybe your hip or so, but they have this very lovely marbled fur on their ears and their body, like black and whites and grays, and they look to you with big eyes. They have like braids of the long hair. They look at you. Rollin, that's my job.
Listen, I like to keep up with things that go on here. Also, my food is here. Give me 1 second.
You see the rabbit. We'll name her Lana. Her name's Lana. She basically shoos him off from behind the desk and writes a few things down before going over to the two kids. The one that's very proud of himself, the other one who's very scared. They have tears in their eyes because they're afraid that their horn will stay like that. Um, so we hear him just like, I don't want my horn to be uneven. And they're just trying to hold back tears while their mom is
The sweet, sweet
is
tiefling
taking
child.
care of them. Yeah. And Lana's trying to reassure him, we can reattach it, we can make sure it grows back, it'll be fine.
Or you could get a badass like horn replacement. We've got prosthetics for that.
Language, Rollin.
Well, you could get a really cool horn replacement.
This is why I always kick you out.
Sorry, I excelled at a lot of things in school, but bedside manners wasn't one of them.
Well, how about instead of practicing those bedside manners that you have, you go to the back and go get your parents.
All right. I have coffee. Clink. Walks to the back.
So in the back, and you see that they're actually just prepping the space to take care of these two since they know what's going on with them. But you see your mother and father both kind of walking around. They're not together. Your mother's the one that stops while she's doing anything. Her name's Anna. Roland, can you please tell the viewers what your mother looks like?
Yeah, Anna Granbrook is a human. She actually has a lot more traits similar to Roland. He took after his mom. Long auburn hair, kind of braided to one side. It's the anime mom hair.
Yeah, it's the anime mom hair. Yeah.
She's not gonna die, Jen. Jeez, he's up.
Yeah. Instead of an apron, she has the doctor coat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she also does wear these. Actually, no, his father would wear the glasses. I like that idea. His father is full elf, so Uh, Short, like military haircut, angular features. Kind of has a sour expression all the time, like what most elves have. And he gets the green eyes from him.
Mm-hmm. So as you walk in, your mother, before she even sets eyes on you, it's that mom, since you can tell her son is there, and she turns to you with a bright smile, and just goes to hug you. It's like, Roland, it's been so long. How are you? Are you safe? How are you feeling? Oh my god, you should have visited. Why didn't you send
I'm
word?
doing fine, Mother. Here, I've got coffee for everyone. I've missed you too.
She just gives you a really big hug and a kiss to the cheek, and kind of like fusses with your hair.
This is the way I like it. Stop.
I know, but you have a few hairs out of place. Okay, I'll stop. I'm sorry. I've just missed my baby. Are
Looks
you
over to his
good?
dad, grunts.
The dad goes over. His name's Roris. It says so in his name tag, Dr. Roris Grambrook. He looks at you with that stern expression that you're used to, but you know it's just his face. And he just gives you a nod back and a grunt, and just walks up to you, gives you a pat on the shoulder.
God, that's how my actual dad does it. Hold on. I need a moment.
um, and just says, "It's good to see you again." And then goes back to prepping the rooms. Um, but your mother takes a coffee and gives one to her husband and kind of sits you in, like, it's like an inner waiting room that they have. Um, and she just talks to you while your father's going to start taking care of the people coming in. Uh, but she says, "Are you all right? I heard you were off in a big job. Everything okay? You look a little worn out, darling."
Yeah, it was a lot.
Okay.
We headed to the mainland and I saw some things. It's fine ish. I'll unpack that later when I'm like 50 and in a lounge chair with some bourbon.
Or you could go to a therapist.
Or I could go to a therapist.
Yeah.
Oh, I met someone on the road.
Oh.
I think it's getting pretty serious.
Okay, who are they?
Begins
What's their
telling them
name?
how he met Navara.
Lovely. That doesn't surprise me from you.
What is that supposed to mean?
Don't worry about that, dear.
This very incredulous look.
I'm just saying you've always been a bit more adventurous in life. You've never shied away from danger.
You know,
Which has brought me many heart attacks. Thank you very much.
I apologize. 1, 2. I was
Yeah?
thinking about bringing her over and meeting you guys.
Yes. Yes, bring her over. We'll make her some dinner. Is there anything specific that she eats that she doesn't like? Any dietary restrictions? Any allergies?
I don't know about dietary restrictions and allergies, but I'll have to ask.
Okay. Ask her what her favorite. Me and Zara will prepare them, whatever they are. Um, does she like? We can take her out on town, see what she likes. Oh, this is gonna be great. We'll leave you your time, obviously. We can have a nice family dinner, then go out of town, and eventually me and your dad could separate and you two can have your time.
Yeah, that'd be nice, Mom. There's a very hint of a smile on his face. It's just good to be home.
Well, I have to go take care of a poor kid whose horn he knocked off. Apparently, he was playing rough with another kid,
What?
and
How old is he?
he's about. She'll kind of think for a moment. I believe he's only about 9.
Oh, baby horns. They'll go
Yeah,
back.
that's what I keep telling. That's what I'm gonna tell them. They're baby horns. They'll grow back. But it's scary. It's mostly the scare that gets them crying. But it's gonna be all right.
Hmm. I've got a meeting in a few hours, but I could stick around and help out for a bit.
That'd be lovely. Yes. Okay. Um, Go to Lana. She'll tell you who to send where. And we can work together again. I'm so excited to see what you've been learning. I've heard nothing but great things from you, about you from
Oh.
others.
Well, hope I live up to the expectation.
You
Lana, my
always
love.
do. All you hear is like a from Lana. But you spend your time helping. Um, is there anything else that you would like to tell your parents or
Nah, nah.
okay?
It's that prodigal son thing where he just came back home and he doesn't really want to tell them about all the death he's seen.
Your mom doesn't push it, which is why she was like, "Oh, you could go to a therapist." But you spend your time helping out your parents. Eventually, just get a little bit busier, but it's not an ER. It's just a clinic, so while there's constant people usually going in there for like a common cold or anything from a common cold to an arrow to the knee, and a very bad accident that left their hand half off. It's a very diverse clinic.
An
uh,
arrow to the knee is getting married in
I know.
Siren for Sarah's look.
No, my look
But
was more of the hand half off. That's what that look was
well,
for.
Oh.
anything from a common cold to like a hand half off. I was gonna say like something else, but realized those machines aren't available in D&D. Don't worry about it. But you spend your time with your parents helping out. They're very grateful for the extra help now that you are a certified doctor. Um, and you see your father kind of looking over what you're doing, how you're doing, and just goes,
Hmm.
just goes back to what he's doing. Uh, but from that, we'll jump over to Lucy. It is up to you when you wake up. You do get a notice, I think not early in the morning, but a little bit later, maybe about 9 or 10 o'clock, that you will be requested at the Lady of Twilight's office.
Um, Lucy is. Oops, I actually have the wrong rewards up. Sorry, chat. Let me go fix that. Big Z, I will refund those points because that's for the wrong game. Um, Lucy will actually be up. She probably didn't sleep well all night, so probably around like 3 a.m. she just
Mm-hmm.
gives up on sleeping. So she
Mm-hmm.
is over at her little in-room dance studio area doing her thing. She has
Mm-hmm.
her aerial hoop down, and she's just been going at that for far
Mm-hmm.
longer than someone should reasonably stay on an aerial hoop for.
Yeah. Jack is with you. He lets you do your thing. He doesn't necessarily bother you with how are you? Are you feeling okay? How's it going? Know what happened? He lets you breathe and have your time, but he does bring you breakfast eventually, coffee, that sandwich that you like with the what was it? It was a grilled sandwich.
It's a grilled cheese with a
With
slice of tomato in it and pesto grilled with butter.
yeah,
She's very
he brings you
specific
that.
taste. Why does the orange juice taste
She
funny?
brings you that. Oh, that's because there's no champagne in it.
She just looks at him from the hoop with a glass in her hand. Hands it back.
Drink it.
No. She doesn't flip. Her hair's still
You can't
mostly
have
white.
alcohol in every drink.
Well, not with that kind of attitude, no. What can I say? Fae have very specific diets. I went over all of it with Fanor. Trust me.
Okay, I'll speak to Fanor then.
My diet requires champagne for breakfast.
It's like a little cart that he brought in. It has like the little like cloth on it, and then he reaches underneath and just pulls out a champagne bottle. I knew this was gonna be a losing fight. And then just makes you morning mimosas. But he does bring you a big plate of bacon as well with your sandwich, and some coffee should you wish it. But he just sits and watches you eat. As well, he eats with you. He doesn't just watch you eat. But
So what did I miss?
he does let you know. More naked Joa. He's been popping up in other places now. I really don't understand how he does it.
Someone should probably put a stop to that before the Lady of Twilight catches wind of it.
I mean, it'll be funny if she does. When she does.
You know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna tell her.
It's mostly in the gardens way in the back, so like no people can see him. But I really want to know why he's there, honestly.
Have you asked?
Yes, but he won't tell me.
So what you're saying is we need to stake out that corner of the garden and find out for ourselves.
Exactly. I have a bag pre-packed with snacks and books so we can wait him out.
Excellent. Clinks her glass to his coffee cup.
But other than that, there's not too much that's been happening. Bryce has teamed up with Megara to teach the guards and soldiers new things, so that's interesting.
Yes, that is very interesting. What are they learning exactly?
It's more close combat rather than weapon training. Very close combat.
What time is it at?
It's in the mornings. I've participated in a few lessons.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
Best place to watch from? She'll pop some bacon into her mouth.
Bleachers. Specifically, there's one spot. I'll let you know which one it is.
Yes, you will.
You could always join in.
No, I'm good.
Okay. But
I'd hate to have you break my nose again.
That was
Yes, please don't break my daughter's nose again, Jack.
What are you? That was
Whips
an
to
act.
the door.
Hello, Uncle Anthony.
You're out. You're back. You're here.
I was about to get to that.
Lucy's just gonna go over and he gets a tackle hug.
He hugs her and just kind of pats her hair and sits her down gently. Soon has a lot to say.
Well, he was a very brave robot while we were on the road. Surprisingly, he wasn't the one causing all the trouble.
Jack passes you the plate of bacon, Anthony.
Takes it and sits down. Good you're back. I'm glad you're back.
Me too. Wasn't exactly quite the vacation that I wanted.
If you want vacation spots, I can suggest better locations.
Fourth circle of hell? Or maybe the fifth. I
That'd
don't
be
know
a
which one's nicer this time of year.
six, actually.
Speaking of which, we met a Cambion. He's wonderful. Zacronus. I think he's going to come here. You'll get to meet him.
Weird, but okay.
Why is that weird?
Honestly, Uncle, it's not the weirdest thing.
Fair. Champion willingly coming into the court, that's a curious thing and a half.
I mean, all he wanted was his library protected, and I just happened to mention that the Lady of Twilight also has a fantastic library, so if they happen to work out a partnership to protect all of their books, I mean, he gets more books and we get a new librarian. One who doesn't know that I've set things on fire.
You'll have to excuse my shadow. Points over to the guard. Not allowed to be alone.
Which guard is it? Is it one that we know?
It's Joa.
Joa, breakfast?
Oh, fuck yeah. He's been super formal with Anthony. I feel like this is the first time he's seen him kind of like let loose.
So you're not with the guard, you're with
And
a
he
friend.
just sits down and he's still with the guard.
Mimosa?
I don't give friend privileges until after.
Is that true?
Well, I have to put on my job, and he has friends. He's just being dramatic. But there's a few restrictions until the trial's done with.
I've
Per
made
your request, we've been waiting for
so
you. So
many pocket watches. I have a collection of pocket watches I'm selling now.
Are they actually selling?
Weirdly, yeah. I'm a very good watchmaker, thank you.
Joel pulls out a watch, like, yeah, he made me this one. Look, it's red like me. He holds it up to his face.
It matches beautifully.
Thank you. I have a beautiful complexion, I've been told.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to summon Freya. Not allowed to summon my homunculus, invisible servant, improve on soon. Artificery in general. Can do blueprints, kind of, with supervision. And something else I've forgotten. Research. Got to have Joa here bring me books.
He reads a lot.
I do.
A lot.
Bryce gave up 2 days in. I'm impressed.
Am I allowed to tell him anything about what we did? Or do I have to wait till after the trial? She's looking at Joa, making sure that she's not breaking a rule.
How about this? Keep it general. No, like, weird specifics until after the trial.
I mean, the Cambion's pretty specific.
The Cambion is pretty specific. Also, is he hot?
Very. Do you want to see what he looks like? Lucy doesn't even wait to change. She just switches
Yes.
into the Cambion.
Wow.
I think our paladin that we were traveling with has already claimed him, and she'll switch back.
Damn it. Jock's just looking with like, but yeah, keep it general ish. I'm sure you can figure out what details are more state secrecy, quite secret.
Right, no state secrets.
Lady
I
of
found some
Twilight
of your
Secret.
I found some of your blueprints.
Blueprints.
Yes, for your cannons. They were actually quite helpful. I had to remove the
Oh.
firing mechanism on all of them that we found. Royal wanted to just fire them off.
I forgot I made those.
I'd show them to you, but I don't. I turned them in with the rest of my notes.
That's fine. I memorized most of my builds. Yeah, and those specific cannons were a prelude to Freya. Freya is getting an update, and I'm quite excited about it, actually.
Really?
Yes, it was actually inspired by Ryland. Mr. Lynn and I have some discussions to go over, just so Freya doesn't, go full Moonberry Goose on him.
I also talked to a god. That was weird.
Which one?
Helm?
Protector, right?
I think so. He has a celestial titan. She's huge and she's gorgeous. I want to go back, just for her. I also met some of your service members? Comrades?
Comrades, yes.
I'm looking for the names, and I can't find where I wrote them down, but she'll give the names of the two that we met. Gosh, I took so many notes. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, that's where we met Zach. I have Amara, but that wasn't one of Anthony's pals. I'll have to go back and rewatch the episode. But she'll give him the names. They seemed happy that you're doing well.
I'm glad.
Well, that's me. And you make watches now. Does this mean you're retired?
No. I have 800 more years left in me. I don't know. Retirement's 700 years from now.
I don't know. I could recommend that you stay home with Fanor every day and you just sit on your bottom reading books all day long. Maybe an early retirement. It could be healthy for you.
No. It stresses everybody out.
Joel just nods, and Jack is just nods. They're both nodding simultaneously.
I blew up at the inner wall the third day, and I got real bored.
You blew up
He got
wall.
put in like extreme timeout for that one.
Oh.
Like, not only house arrest, but like room arrest.
Basic household items shouldn't be that explosive, but they are.
What did you blow up?
Wanted to make an archway, thought I primed it right, and yeah.
Mr. Aliel was not happy about it.
Fanor actually got mad.
It's got a beautiful view to the living room from now, our bedroom.
I don't think I've ever seen Fanor that angry. Or angry.
I would have liked to see it.
Did you know fays change colors when they're angry?
It's a real like technicolor rainbow thing going on.
Just stares at whoever said, "Do you know Fae change colors when they're angry?" In Changeling, who changes colors when she's
Well,
angry.
well, it's Joa. It's like their hair changes color and like apparently different flowers start blooming. This one was more brambles and like spiky stuff.
Nice.
That was about the
Yeah.
time Bryce quit being my shadow and Joa was assigned to me.
He says that, but Bryce wasn't supposed to be there. She was just they were just placeholder until they got me. He likes to think that Bryce quit.
Mm.
I think it's like an ego thing. He'll like whisper over to Lucy.
It could be.
Um, but yeah,
They said I'm like a bird. I need to do things. I get very destructive if I don't do things.
we gave him puzzles.
How long did those take?
Well, the first few took like no time at all, but then we gave him one with no solution.
We still managed
I
to find a
found the
solution,
solution.
didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. It took him a while though.
Well, there's that.
The solution was chucking it into the garden.
That wasn't a solution.
That was the best solution.
It's a solution.
Yep. Yep. Especially when it hits me in the head. That's
You shouldn't be sitting in our garden beds, but you know.
No, it was the second puzzle that you threw. You didn't even throw out the window, you just threw behind you and it just fucking hit me in the head.
Well, yeah.
Y'all, your father can be very rude. Just putting that out there.
Welcome to the family, I guess.
Yes. I did learn Undercommon. Not well, but I did learn it. I'm trying to master Sylvan now.
In Undercommon, Lucy excitedly says, "Oh, can we use it from now on? Can we just talk in Undercommon all the time?"
There's Rylan no Undercommon.
I don't think so.
Oh no.
It might be fun. We could pass secrets.
The secrets between us. I wonder if Rylan can interpret those.
Roland does know Undercommon.
Even still, it works out to
They
our
don't know
advantage.
that.
Well, if you want to take a break, and Joey wants to take a break from being my shadow for about an hour or so.
Can't do that.
I try.
It's your fault for blowing up a wall, my dude.
I mean, an archway would have been lovely.
Magic. Professionals. Construction workers.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm still banned from the kitchens from the time I set a trash can on fire accidentally. Last time we were here, they had a line. Last time we were here, they had a line painted on the ground that I'm not allowed to cross anymore. It wasn't painted until I was kicked out. So, at least I'm special.
Well, let's take a break and go for a walk.
All right.
You could do that.
I hope so.
Lucy, the trial has been set for about 2 to 3 days from when you were here. You could speak to the Lady of Twilight should you wish to advance it. And she does want to speak to you today.
Right, I got her message.
Not only am I a guard dog, I'm a messenger dog.
And you're the pretty little bird in her arsenal. And she'll pat Joe's cheek affectionately.
Yeah. He doesn't sound like upset when he says guard dog and messenger dog.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right, walk it is. I'll change. Jack, are you coming with us?
if you wish me to.
If you want. She just walks off. She'll come back in a few minutes change.
Okay. Yeah. He just gets back into the clothes he was in the night before. And just preps. Joe will be with you guys, but like behind. He won't interrupt. But Jack will be with you next to you guys as you walk and talk. But it's up to you. There's the gardens. They're still just as beautiful. Just as wild.
Where do you want to go, Anthony?
Let's go to the gardens.
All right.
Mm. So, aside from the Isles being hell on earth, I'm glad you're back. They're not easy to navigate.
I mean, no, but all in all, it wasn't that bad. We made friends.
Good. I mean, been in a therapist. I've been talking to somebody.
You've been talking to someone.
Took a bit of convincing, but yes. I quite like her. She's good.
Well, color me impressed.
She gets what I'm in. Yeah. Making pocket watches, as you know. Doing some designing for the lady.
What, making a new mask? New set of
No,
claws.
this is
a
no,
mask
not
that is a
B.
clock.
He takes out a bit of paper and writes that down. A mask that is a clock. No, well, it's something for the items of chaos. It's just a blueprint at the moment.
Oh.
I'm still working on it. Made headway with the Warforge. That's what I've decided to call them. A bit harsh in the name, but I don't know.
I like it. It has a nice ring to it.
They're missing, yeah. They're missing a component. I just don't know what it is yet. Almost there, though. And my life's work will be complete.
And then you retire.
Who am I kidding? No, I mean, I have to establish a home nation or a home base for them and make sure they understand the wares of government, make sure they're established as a people. I mean, that's a long route. I plan to make many.
So you finish them, and then 3 weeks after, once you've accomplished all that, then you retire.
3 weeks is generous. I'll do it in 2.
All right.
Who do you think I am?
I'll take that bet.
Takes her hand and pulls her into a hug, kisses the top of her head. How you do, my dear?
I've had better days. Last night was particularly awful, but Jack was there. He saw me through the worst of it.
Good. Whatever happened on those isles, it was an uphill battle to begin with. You did good.
Looks back at Joa, looks back at Anthony. It was all fine right up until the very end. It wasn't even the Isles themselves that got in the way.
Hmm.
I guess I'll tell you all about it. She rolls her eyes. When I can tell him details.
There you go, you're learning.
This is at the rules, not at you.
Ah, I know.
Whatever happened, Lucy, I am proud of you. You and Rylan went through a lot there. I may not know the details, but I know the experience.
I don't think you do. You didn't have a Royal Butterfield traveling with you when you were there.
A what?
Gonna be a smash cut over to Rollin reporting to the Lady of Twilight. And in my professional opinion, next time we get freelancers, we personally vet them because we don't want another Royal Butterfield.
Smash cut back to Lucy. I will never take Milo's voucher for someone ever again.
Right.
We love you, Sauce.
We love you, Sauce Fire.
What the hell? I may not have had a Royal Butterfield, whoever that is. But I do know those Isles, and I'm glad you're here.
Me too. How far exactly are you allowed to go on your supervised release?
She pauses. I think allowed to leave the court. Hazelbridge on supervised visits with Fanor.
If I call Rollin, do you think we could go somewhere with water and you could give me that swimming lesson?
Yeah. Do you have swimwear?
Yes.
We can buy some, Jack says.
It's in the
We can
back
get
of
some.
the closet. It has the tags on it still, but I bought it before we left.
You want a swim cap and goggles?
I don't know.
I'll get some.
The white in Lucy's hair is just like going up and down as she gets brave, not brave, not brave, not brave.
Jack just puts like an arm around Lucy. But in the meantime, while you're having that talk, Rollin, you are called to the Lady of Twilight's office. You are escorted by a guard. And coffee hasn't kicked in yet, even though I've drank a whole cup. But you're escorted by a guard. And they lead you to the familiar doors of her office, who open with no touch or anything. They are attuned to her, as you will, but they leave you there at the entrance as you walk in. You see her. She doesn't have a mask, but it's almost like a cowl, a hood that leaves her face in darkness. Um, Almost like if a hood was a dread helm, basically. Um, and there's jewelry upon this hood that kind of keeps it in place, as she seems to be going through quite a lot of paperwork on her desk. But she motions for you to sit down.
I didn't know if you'd like chai or not, so plop.
Thank you, dear.
Roland Granbrook reporting from the Isles of God. What are they called?
No Man's Land, Undead Isles, Dread Isles, many names, dear.
Roland Granbrook reporting on the events of the Undead Isles.
Yes. So, please, do tell me about your experience there and what you found.
Over the course of the week or two that we were there, we found a Cambion who wishes to be your personal librarian. You may speak with your warlock on that. A Guardian to Helm, which is probably still active and fighting off the darkness, as well as a contingent of soldiers from Loomberry who are undead. I believe their souls have not found peace yet. Hope they do soon. As well as the cult that attacked Naughty a few months ago. They were also looking for the relic.
Doesn't surprise me.
In the scuffle to retrieve it, their leader got away with the gauntlet.
A gauntlet, okay. And you see that she has a book, paperwork out, and she just presses her finger to the paperwork, and a report of what you're saying starts appearing on it. She doesn't have to write it. Um, but she looks to you. I was also told they are ex-cult members with you.
They'll be arriving on a ship with Captain Bullseye in the next few days, so I'm told. Managed to talk some of them down from their fanaticism.
All right. Any particular events that caught your eye more than the others?
Well, there was a fuck off Dracolich.
Yeah, there we go.
We were not able to locate its phylactery. It did flee the scene. So expect a very angry undead dragon.
I doubt they will leave that island, but just in case, I'll keep an eye out. How are you personally?
Personally, I'm fine. Supposed to be anyway. We
I'm
weren't.
not asking you how you're supposed to be, I'm asking you how you are.
A little disappointed we weren't able to achieve our objective. But we made it out with our lives, so I can't ask for any more than that.
I'm glad. And you did not fail him. You still got information. And we know who has the object and what the object is.
The cult is also looking for these objects. It's going to be a race against time to locate each one that we need.
I have a team working on locating. I've hired Dr. Cataclysmia and her group to locate these objects and where they may be. There is an inkling to where another one is, but it's on the move. It keeps moving through hands and, well, it's a black market type of deal.
Right. From my speculation, the cult was entrenched there for a time, meaning they had the jump on us from the beginning.
That makes sense.
If we could ask some of the. They are lower on the ladder than what we were dealing with, but maybe a base of operations, we can conduct some sort of search and raid, see what information they hold.
Yes. I planned on that since I was told that you had ex-cultists. It would be an interrogation of sorts, not shadow and echo, but a proper interrogation and investigation as to what they know.
A debriefing.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
Other than that, there is nothing to report.
All right. Well, I am aware that we need to get on these artifacts as soon as possible. I do have people locating them. And I need you, all of you, to be on your best when you go get these items. So, take your time here, rest, and I'll take care of everything else.
I'm putting in for hazard pay.
I know. Look at it.
There's a small smile from Roland. My lady, if there's nothing else, I wish you a good day.
Good day, Dr. Allen. And she'll motion with her hand and the door opens. And I say by this point, Lucy would have been asked to come to the office as well, and you are there as Roland exits.
She's pacing outside the door. Her hair is still going, the white is still going halfway up and back down.
Everything all right?
Fine. Why?
He'll motion to his hair in indication of what her hair's doing.
Oh, it does that sometimes. I can't stop it. What are you doing later?
Was thinking about popping by my parents' place again, helping out.
Anthony's giving me a swimming lesson. Will you come and make sure I don't drown? The white in her hair goes all the way up to the root and then back down.
I'll do my best to be there. I'll make sure that he doesn't put anything weird on you that makes you sink straight to the bottom.
They have things that do that. What does that? Why would he do that?
It's
That
called
sounds
cement
horrible.
love.
Lucy, you hear
Already
through
there,
the still
bestie.
open door.
Lucy's just gonna side-eye Rollin and inch into the room.
You see her. She is still writing her paperwork. You see pages moving by themselves and pens writing as the report she was quote unquote writing with her magic is still going. And she'll take a moment to motion for you to sit down as the door closes behind you.
Lucy walks straight to the drink cart, pours herself a shot of some Fey wine, and downs it, and then sits down. Why on earth would anyone teach someone to swim by forcing them to sink? That sounds like a horrible idea.
That's not how you teach someone to swim.
That's what Rollin said Anthony might do.
There's a laugh from the hallway that just slowly gets quieter.
I
I'm
doubt
assuming
that
that's-
your father will. Congratulations. So, I've read through your notes, but I would like a personal report on what has happened.
We went to the Fuck Off Islands, found the Cambion, found his library. I think you're really going to enjoy the books that he has bringing over. Convinced him that it would be better to merge his library with yours. Continued traveling, met some will-o'-the-wisps, did not care for them. I spoke to Helm and met his very tall, pretty lady friend. She fought a fuck off shadow thing. We went running for our lives. Royal got captured. We saved Royal. We then found where the Dracolich was and the artifact and teamed up with the cultists, which didn't go well.
Yes, I can see that in your notes, and I will in the future ask you that any hired help, if you do not think I would approve of them, do not hire them.
I wasn't planning on hiring him, but Milo vouched for him, and everyone vouched for Milo, so I'm never trusting Milo again.
I'll put that on his report. His file.
All right.
Speak to Megara. But any hired help, I trust that you will vet them as I would, and you would know what I would approve and would not approve.
Right. To be fair, he was a good fighter.
Yes, but I see that he has. And she'll kind of go through your notes. A tendency to ingest things that will hurt and or kill.
Honestly, I'm surprised that he survived his dietary needs.
As am I. Now, do you have a description of what this artifact looked like before the cultists went away with it? I see that it's a gauntlet, but any specifics?
Lucy will try and describe it and sketch it for her. Do you want me to roll something to see how well
Roll
she
a retroactive investigation check. Or perception, whichever one you wish.
knows? Investigation's fine. That is a 22.
Okay. Let me see. I will show you what it looked like.
I don't have roll 20 up, so you can show me later if you want.
Yeah. I'll show the players at least. But you do remember a gauntlet that had a lot of angles, and the core of it was almost made out of fire and lava, but it had that strange red glow that you're now used to associating with this deity.
It had the same glow as the other artifact, but it seemed to be molten in some parts.
All right. And you are sure that they left with it, correct?
Yes, I think the spell is Dimension Door. Unfortunately.
At least we know which artifact they have, and that means we know that they have proper information on how to find these. How are you?
Pissed off, but fine. How are you?
Anything? Busy as always. I'm asking because I understand what that place is. And if you need any help, I can provide for you.
Place itself is fine. I'm more bothered by being bested by that damn cultist. I don't like her.
I would hope not. But while we may not have gotten the artifact, we got information, again, like I said, what it looked like, what they had. Information on what their ranks are and what they're capable of. I have contacted and permanently gotten Dr. Cataclysmia to be a head researcher into where these items are. We have located, generally located, a few of them. One seems to be moving constantly through basically the black market from hand to hand. It's hard to pinpoint, but that's the one we have the most information on, as many people have seen it. And while these are important, we do have eyes on them, and I would like for you all to take your time and recover from your recent expedition, as I need you at the best of your game when you do go back out and do so. To when you do go back out and try to acquire these items again.
All right.
Are you sure you're all right, dear?
I'm fine.
You can't see it, but you can feel the quirked eyebrow.
Don't look at me that tone of voice. I said I'm fine.
I'll look at you in whichever tone of voice I want.
Fine. Then take the hood off when you do.
She looks. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
It's just the two of them. Where's my persuasion? 23.
You feel the stare. And you see it currently as just a red eyes, black, shadowy face. And you see her signature clawed hands come up and remove the hood. And you see her pale face, eyes black and red, hair dark as night straight down her back. How are you?
I could use a hug.
Oh. All right. She stands up and offers her hand to help you stand up as well, and pulls you in. Uh, and while you know that physically it's a bit of a cold touch, but there's warmth in the hug, in the way she's hugging you. And it's very much a motherly hug where it's like one arm across the back and the other one behind your head.
It's good to see you again. I didn't like being cut off from you.
I didn't like it either. I like knowing that you're all right.
I am. I will be.
Dear, what do you need?
3 nights with Jack, a lot of binge drinking, and maybe a few rounds of strip poker? And don't think you want to join me for any of that, though.
No. She kind of like holds your face gently in her hands, even though it's an odd view since she has very much these metal clawed hands that seem rather wicked, but the hold on your face is gentle. Do you need to talk to someone? Professionally.
No, I'm fine. I am aware that it's all in my head and that you're not my former employer and that this is a me thing. I just need some time. It's a knee-jerk reaction. I
If
can't.
it's a you thing, I'm not. I am aware. You don't have to explain yourself, dear. I'm not accusing you of anything. I understand that it's a you thing, but there are people that can help you with that. I won't push you into it, but the option is there should you need it.
Well, thank you. For now, this is exactly
You're
what I
right,
need.
I'm not you. Good. You're right, I'm not your last employer. Remember that.
I do.
Remember that I would gut your last employer and step on their neck until they die.
I'll bring the popcorn.
There you go.
Lucy will sit back down.
But, yeah. She'll give her like one last squeeze before she sits back.
So, what's being done
Yes.
about Joe being left in the gardens naked?
About what?
We can cut there.
Jesus Christ.
This
I
is
think
probably-
that's a good
Yeah.
point to take a little bit of a break. So we'll see you all back in 5 to 10 minutes. So don't go anywhere. Let's just to grab a drink, grab some food, grab your meds, grab a friend, and we'll be right back.
We'll see you in a bit.
Bye.
Everyone wait, bye! everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for hanging out
We're
with us through the
back.
break. We're here. If this is your first time joining us, this is a charity channel, just so you are aware. Everything that I make on Twitch goes to thetrevorproject.org. And we actually just did our most recent community donation of $173. So that will be getting posted and documented on our Discord if you'd like to check out some of our other charity work that we have done in this community. The link is in chat. Come say hi. Or, don't. That's cool too. We'll just tell you when we make donations as well. All of your bits and subs that you use to affect our game as we play do go to that donation pot. And if you are not able to affect our game with your bits and subs, we get it. Times are hard. Not everyone is financially able to do that. So if you just want to hang out with us for a while, watch the show, give us your wild fan theories, help us name some NPCs along the way, we will give you channel points, and then you can use those channel points to affect the game as well. And with that,
Yeah.
we'll hand it back over to Satan.
Back. So after your conversation with Lady of Twilight and the rare sneak peek to her face, which she has seen before if you looked at our extra episodes that we link up on our Discord if you want to join and get those extra goodies. That rare look at her, it's strange because you can see if she were to stay very, very still, it's almost you could almost mistake her own face for a porcelain mask. Very defined features, high cheekbones, pale porcelain skin, almost white. Dark lashes, almost an always naturally stained, red stained lips. Her eyes are all black except for the red iris, and the stark contrast of her black hair against her pale skin. And you see it disappear as she puts her hood back on. But you have done your report with Lady of Twilight. You're all free. She does tell you that when you're ready, the trial will be held.
Right. Well, if he drowns me, maybe I just won't be there.
If he drowns you, he won't have a trial.
Well, hopefully Rollin keeps me alive then. Lucy will straighten her coat and head on out.
You head out, and you are free to do as you wish. There are many places you could go. Anthony, where have you been this entire time?
I think he made his way towards the clinic and has picked up Soon, because Soon and Christoph have been hanging out, and he goes to find Fëanor to tell him where he's going with Lucy.
All right, don't drown.
Oh, I don't think I can drown.
You definitely can.
No, I think I'm immune to drowning now. I've decided.
Okay, sure, go ahead and try it.
I mean, I can quite literally make lungs that allow me to breathe underwater.
Okay, sure.
I need an emerald, by the way.
Why?
Artificery.
I won't give you one until you give me a full explanation.
No, in order to make half the things I need more emeralds than I thought. It's emeralds. I don't know why diamonds were. I just need emeralds.
What are you trying to make exactly?
He pulls out a little mechanical Rimaraz blueprint. It's cute.
That is quite cute, I won't lie.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do. Asha should be able to provide you with such things while you're in her workshop. Also, if you drown, I'm not bringing you back. You're going to have to find somebody else to do so.
Wonder if Lynn will do it.
I'll make sure to tell him not to.
Good. Make sure I'm haunted by the shores of wherever we end up.
That's your own problem, not mine.
Always wanted to be a ghost.
Always.
Fancy emerald. I need a very fancy emerald.
I am your husband. I am not a supplier of supplies. I'm tired.
He's your husband, not your dealer.
Kiss his cheek. I know. But since the Remoras will be part of the family,
Then ask Asha to give you emeralds. I am a doctor and your husband.
we would want to choose their heart as we would be,
Is that something you're making up right now?
No, it's quite literally the heart of a homunculus is the emerald jewel.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Fine if you don't want to choose the heart of our Remorad's mechanical child, it's fine.
Oh, you see, you asked me to get you an emerald. You didn't ask me, hey, do you want to choose the heart of our Remora's child?
It's fine. Kristoff is being upgraded to have more voice commands, so she'll be able to speak more to you.
Oh, amazing. We can have conversations about you.
Yes. Everybody does. I'm very popular.
Not in the way you think. He
That counts.
smiles and gives you a kiss. Now, go teach our daughter how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick up the heart of our new child.
Yes.
Okay, shoo. Go. Leave. Leave my clinic.
All right.
Before you blow something out like you did my wall.
We have hanging plants to hide it now. It's fine.
No.
Wolf out.
You better fix it. That's the last thing you hear. But eventually, you can all gather should you wish. Unless, Rollin, are you still at the court or are you at your parents' clinic? Because you could also gather there.
He would have messaged ahead to his parents and said he's going to be busy with lifeguard duty.
Well, when are you going to be busy with family duty?
I was there in the morning.
I carry you for 9 months, and you think one morning after however long you were gone is enough for me. I gave birth to you.
Yeah, I know. I've got a job now. I'm a career man, Mom.
Well, even a career man can make time for his mother, who spent 12 hours in labor.
I'm not good at this, okay?
You are a big child, okay?
Listen, if I got one thing from you and Dad, it's not making time for family.
How dare you, Granbrook? Rollin Alexander Granbrook. Don't you talk to me in that tone of voice.
I'm gonna change his name to include Alexander in the middle of that now.
You know that the way she's talking with you, she's not really serious.
She true named me. Oh shit.
Yeah. Until she true named you.
Listen, I'll pop by sometime again this week.
I expect a dinner out of you, sir, with your friends.
Okay.
Make sure to
you.
invite them, or I'll invite them myself.
I will. I
Okay.
love you too.
Love you. See you soon.
Puts down the sending stone, turns to Lucy. My mom says I can play with you, but you guys are going to have dinner with us sometime this week.
You're muted.
All right. What kind of whiskey does she like?
Dad likes scotch.
I already like your dad.
He's a quiet man.
He's perfect then.
I think that's why my mom married him.
You remember growing up with your parents that it is very much your mother talking to your father. um, but they are a very happy couple. Your father does like to hear your mother talk. Um, but as you get together, you're free to go and try to do the swimming lesson. Joa is with you. Jack as well.
Rylan, do you have swim trunks or bathing suit?
I guess it's somewhere in a trunk, somewhere in my room. I haven't had a day off in a while, so I haven't done a lot of unpacking.
Here, throw a swimsuit and some swim trunks at you. Your choice, whatever flavor you want. I have swim caps and goggles. Sunscreen.
Mind you, I don't think this apparatus is waterproofed yet.
That reminds me. He digs into his bag. I've been working on it.
It's not gonna explode on me, is it?
No. I tested it. On me, mostly.
How many times has it exploded on you?
Not once. I've actually only got a mild chemical burn because I got the chem wrong. But I got it right this time.
Is Feanor there?
You can bid in the clinic if you wish.
Roland just gives Feanor a look at mild chemical burns.
Yeah, Fano just gives him a look like I like to think he has glasses on right now. He just gives him a look over his glasses. Mild chemical burns.
They were mild chemical burns.
Your mild is not the same as a normal person's milds, dear.
They fell within the category 1 of chem burns. They are mild.
Lucy walks in at this point to meet up with the others. Wait, what about chemical? Do we have to use chemicals? I don't like this. I'm going back to my room.
No. This is for Rylan. I've been working on the biogel to help with his side and arm and everything. And I was testing it on myself and got my chemical burns, but I corrected it and made the correct formula.
Okay. It does not involve you, dear. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Okay, now get out of my clinic. Go swim or something, whatever. He gives Lucy a hug and a kiss on the head before shooing the rest of you out.
It did
crowding up my hallway.
Yeah. It did fall into the chart. He pulls out a Kim burn chart. It fell into this category.
I know the chart.
Yeah, but it was well within the mild burns.
We're not going to use chemicals, Lucy.
The ocean doesn't really have these chemicals, so.
Are you going to make me sink? Roland said you were going to make me sink.
I got a boogie board.
What's that for?
You hold on to it and you can kick.
Yeah.
It keeps
Helps
you
afloat. You float.
Right. But what happens if I fall off of it?
I put you back on.
You swim.
Who's saying that? Is that Jack?
Jack.
Lucy's just gonna punch him in the bicep.
He just does it for dramatics. He doesn't really hurt.
Lucy, between the three of us, we would never let you burn or drown or whatever horrible scenarios that are running through your head at this moment.
Well, to be fair, none of them were there until Roland said something.
What?
Jack punches you in the bicep.
It doesn't really hurt. He's just doing it for effect.
I mean, he's a strong lad, but I think you have your gauntlets of ogre strength.
Power on, yeah.
Yeah. I do this as if I'm actually looking at something, but I'm not. I'm just looking at the tab that says Nexus Adventures campaign. But you are free to go. You can go to Hazelbridge should you wish. The the court would have a pool if you want to try there. But you could also try at the beach.
Where would Anthony take Lucy? Because she wouldn't
No.
be leading right now. This is an Anthony planning thing. So
According to the videos I watched last night, I'm supposed to take you to a pool or a lake, but not the ocean.
mm-hmm.
There's a lake you could go to as well if you wish. Mind you, that was full of fake creatures, so maybe not that.
Yeah, let's go to the pool.
You can go to pool.
Yeah. You go to the pool, and it's a really lovely place because it's like the whole thing is all the walls are just crystals, like solid giant crystals. So it's almost like a spa, but you have a pool. It's like the perfect temperature. It's not too cold, not too hot. There are I think at this time of day, because it's midday, it doesn't work. There's not many people there. Maybe just a few people who have their day off. But it's very lovely. I'll post a picture of what I think it looks like later on the Discord if you join the Discord. But you can make your way there, and it's meant to look like a natural lake. It's not like a square pool, but it is safe and it doesn't have any creatures in it. And you can see through. It's pretty clear, but it's really pretty.
I'll be sticking to the shallows for now. The deep end is not for you. Or soon, as he kind of nudges the robot off of his shoulder.
You see Soon is like doing the R2D2 scream as he runs towards the deep end.
Lucy's just standing there and she's doing the long cat hold on Peanut.
Peanut can also learn how to swim, Jack says.
Peanut knows how to swim. He did very
It's a
well
doggy
in the
paddle.
lake.
That is true. I forgot about the lake.
And then you yelled at him because he was muddy. You were rude.
I yelled at you.
Just a quick lean over to Anthony. I could cast heroism on her. It'll last for about a minute, but it'll even out any fears.
Well, good, but
A healthy amount of fear.
yeah. I mean, I think conquering one's fear should be done without a filter. But that's just me. Sure, let's try it.
You know what? I'll meet you halfway on it. Claps his hands together and emboldening bonds Lucy so she gets a D4 to skill checks.
Thanks. Chat, just in case you were wondering, Lucy gets a +0 to athletics checks, so this is going to go really well.
I can also bless.
It's fine. Let her fail if she fails.
Okay.
All right.
And bless only lasts like a minute, so.
Yeah.
Anthony wades into the water, only goes up to his ankles and holds a hand out to Lucy. This is all the farther will go until you're more comfortable to wade in further.
Lucy will go in with him, set Peanut down so Peanut can wade in on his own.
Jack is with Peanut as they're like just swimming together.
Roland's gonna go to the deep end, float on his back, and just power down so that he's just floating there.
Mm-hmm.
And climbs up on you like a raft. There's a sea shanty playing from him.
It's the I like to think it's actually the recorded siren songs that they got from when they were traveling with the lovely Alessandra, who may or may not be a hag.
Switches
Um,
between those songs and Bullseye singing a sea shanty.
yeah. She has a lovely singing voice for sea shanties, at least.
I love Captain Bullseye.
But yeah. Jack still kind of stays around in case you need any other comfort, but he trusts Anthony to help you. Um, but yeah, it's up to you guys. What are you doing to teach Lucy how to swim?
He actually sits down in the water, holds his hand up to her. Not much deeper than it was when we were standing.
She'll sit.
Now, water is to be respected but not feared. You can navigate through your distrust by understanding that it is there to simply provide a way to exercise, enjoy, to recreationally sail, what have you. He starts scooting forward just a little. That stops.
She'll scoot with him.
It can be very fun, very relaxing, has a lot of therapeutic joys to it. Points over to Rylan and Soon. You can enjoy it in many ways, as you can see.
Jack is just holding Peanut to his chest as he just kind of like half floats, half swims. Just switching.
Peanut's enjoying it, actually doing like a heckin' snort as he takes
Yeah.
like a mini peanut nap.
Yeah.
For the more recent joiners, Lucy has a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel that is pink and blue galaxy colors, named Peanut, and they are a blink puppy.
Anthony just casually scoots forward, like mid-conversation, so it's not as noticeable until it's like up to mid-chest, and then he stops. How does this feel?
Lucy's hair is like fluctuating from like white to blonde. It's here.
All right. This is
You're
a good
doing
place.
amazing, sweetie. You hear from Jack.
Stuff raised thumb from Rollin.
A loud tugboat sound from Soon.
Rollin bangs his head on the side of the pool.
As you can see, your buoyancy, the way you float in the water changes the deeper you go. This is where we'll stop since you're comfortable here.
All right.
Let your arms float about.
She does.
Now tell me, what do you think of the water thus far?
I don't know that it's wet. It's cleaner than a lake. That's nice.
True. How does it make you feel?
I like the floaty part.
It's relaxing, yeah?
Are you sure there aren't any fish or shark in here? She's
Unless
staring
you
off at the
count
deeper end.
Rylan, Soon, and maybe the occasional Silky.
There isn't. Jack says, "This is man-made. It's just made to look like a lake, but it's just a pool.
Turn it into a shark.
Don't do that."
The chlorine would be horrible for me.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to try floating on your back?
No, I'll sink.
You will not sink.
How do you know?
Does it look like Rylan's sinking?
No, but he's full of hot air.
Ah,
It's chai tea right now, actually.
And you didn't bring any to share with the rest of the class. Rude.
I can go get more.
You won't sing. People are naturally buoyant.
Unless they're girlant.
Fine.
I'll be right here, I promise. Now, just lean back into my hands. Push your legs out towards the deeper end, towards Soon and Rylan and Jack and your dog. And just float.
She'll do it.
Nice and easy.
Let me roll an athletics check to see how comfortable she is floating.
Yes, sorry, I was distracted by the pun, but yes. Please do an athletics check for me. What did you roll?
Plus a d4. Sure.
I rolled a natural 1.
Lucy,
roll that.
as
Let me see what it is with the D4.
you have rerolls.
No, I don't.
Well,
It's a 3 with the D4. Still not great. Failure's okay.
Yeah, no, you do so, and it's more of the feeling. It's not that you can't float. It's kind of like that. When you're predispositioned to something, you're extra scared. So it's and while you float, most of your body isn't actually on top. It's kind of sinking down, but your face and chest do stay up. So as you're laying down, you feel that your body itself is not entirely floating. You can almost feel like you start sinking, and it freaks you out, and you kind of stop moving, and it's just like nope.
She
Correct,
starts.
sir.
Yeah, she starts floating, and then like she instinctively just like drops her hips into a seating position.
Yeah.
And yeah, don't do that.
See, you can always touch the bottom here.
Right.
That was a good effort.
Her hair is like totally white for a moment.
You're doing fine for your first time out, Lucy.
Nicholson tried to drown me when I was sick.
Did you deserve it?
No. Maybe.
Would he say no if I asked him? I'm gonna ask him next time we see him.
To be fair, Nicholson was the one that was drowning, and I just went out to save him.
Can I have Peanut?
Jack will come by with Peanut, who's doing a hecking snooze, because the water's, it's not hot, but it's nice and like warm. It's comfortable, so he's having a just hecking snooze on Jack's chest while being cuddled.
Ron
So
and Jack have been off somewhere for like a hot second. Jack comes back with like a pair of oversized goggles. Rollin turns himself into a dolphin and he puts the goggles on.
But you see them come back. Jack has actually put a rope on Rollin to just drag him everywhere as he floats.
You can hold on to the fin.
Yeah, but he's holding on to Peanut.
True.
But he comes by with Peanut, who's doing a hecking snoozle, and just kind of starts waking up and just starts wagging their tail in the water as they see you.
Takes back.
Yeah. Do you need help in floating?
No, I'll get it.
I know you will. But maybe she'll feel more comfortable, two people holding her up while she floats. One hand on the back, the other at her legs. He'll
I
soon
wonder
realize
about
he can't actually breathe in this water, but he can hold his breath though.
I wonder about that one.
It's up to you, Lucy. This is a good progression for the day.
Sets Peanut on her. All right, let's go again.
All right.
She'll try it with both of them helping her.
Mm-hmm. And he'll help by he'll let Anthony take lead, but he'll just kind of hold her feet up, like her legs up, to help, and just take Anthony's lead.
At the shoulders, at the back, at the knees, at the feet.
She rolls a 12 this time.
12 plus a d4.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's for 10 minutes.
14 total.
14. You feel more calm now because you have the comforting presence of Anthony and Jack and Peanut. So you're extra comforted. But Jack does help to keep your lower body afloat as well, so you don't get that feeling of trying to sit down. And they hold you there for a bit, so you get used to it, letting you kind of feel the water tension around you, Peanut on your chest, and slowly and surely they just move their hands away, and you're floating. It's quite relaxing, actually.
Lucy relaxes into it eventually, and the white in her hair just recedes to like the last bottom inch of her hair.
How do you feel?
She lifts her head up, forgetting what she's doing, and sinks again.
Oh, got you, I got you, I got you.
Well, it was good until that part.
You gotta stay very still.
Well, I couldn't hear him. My ears were underwater.
A beach volleyball gets beamed into Anthony.
He turns around, taking the ball, and just sets it down gently and bops it over to the dolphin.
Yeah. Jack goes over to Rollin and just tackles him as a dolphin, creating a big splash.
I'll drag people around.
Yeah.
Lucy will just sit for a while with Peanut now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's pushed herself as far as she'll go today.
Mm-hmm. Hey, she learned how to float. But you can spend the rest of your time just kind of sitting at the pool and getting used to being in water. It's nice. Like I said, it's a nice temperature. Y'all can have just fun and talk. And Peanut's there, and you see him like do the little doggy paddle, and as you lift him, he's still doing the doggy paddle.
Has Jack made him any water toys?
Yeah, he does have a few floaty toys that he can get. He specifically likes it's meant to look like a stick, but it is a floaty toy that he can grab onto easily. And so you see him kind of just paddling with you, but he has like the stick like toy in his mouth, just like
She'll sit and play fetch with him in the water for a while.
mm-hmm.
Well, you've got lesson 1 down. There's a few more, but I think this is good progress. I'm very proud of you, Lucy.
I think I'm actually proud of myself for once.
Should be. You've overcome the hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
At least if we come across another lake again, I can just float across it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually what you should do. If you don't know how to swim, you kind of start floating. Help you keep your head above water.
We'll get you some water shoes.
What?
shoes you can wear in the water, so you can walk across lakes and
Without hurting your feet
yes.
Oh.
on rocks and stuff. I personally like them, Jack says, because I don't like things touching me in the water. It's kind of creepy.
Lucy reaches over and pinches his leg in the water.
I like that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he says, and kind of like, the others can't see it, but he just kind of pinches your butt.
Hey! There's a pinching war that goes on.
It's just pinching each other.
If it's any advice that you're looking for, when you're floating, just spread yourself out as much as possible.
Mhm.
It helps.
Larger surface creates a better buoyancy.
Alright, we'll keep that in mind.
When you're comfortable enough, and when we get there, we'll take you to the beach, let you swim in the ocean. It's different, and we'll help you.
Let's start with wall kicks.
Yes.
Let's start the lessons here, and when you know how to swim, we can take you to the ocean. It's different, like Anthony said.
What does kicking a wall have to do with learning how to swim?
Rollin will show her. He puts one hand on, two hands on the side of the wall and begins to kick. So he's like basically swimming.
Yeah.
It
Oh.
helps with the leg strength.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, maybe?
Definitely.
Alright.
And you can practice. I can be at one end, Anthony can be at another. You can swim from end to end. You can be sure that one person's there to grab you in case of anything.
You want me to float in the middle?
Yeah.
Why did you put soon? Looks around, finds him on a boogie board, pulls him over.
He's doing that stick dance.
Yeah.
But yeah. You have a very nice first swimming lesson. And it's nice to have your friends around to kind of lighten the mood. But you guys can spend as much time as you want in the pool. Joe is just there. He's somehow gotten food, so he's just eating while he just watches everything.
I just imagine he's like sitting there eating like buffalo wings, watching.
Oh,
all of
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Like the most inconvenient pool food you could have. Joa has it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rollin kind of like has an idea, scampers off, and then comes back with a tray of drinks. Best thing about swimming, pina coladas.
Ooh, I know what those are.
You can have pina coladas in the pool while you wait. It's a nice contrast because the drink is cold, but the water's just nice temperature. You know what I did make though? A floating drink tray. Jack says, very excited.
Oh.
So like a carrot on a stick for a horse will just lead a bunch of drinks out in the water, and Lucy will have to swim after them.
Exactly.
It's a great motivator.
Remember what I said? The water is to be respected and not feared.
I thought that was
This
firearms.
is the respect side of the water.
Well, we're not fearing it if we do that.
I mean,
But you're
they've got a
respecting
point.
it either.
Lucy's like picking the fruit off the side of her pina colada and eating it. You know, one time I poisoned someone by soaking the fruit in poison first and then putting it on their drink. It was actually quite ingenious. They didn't even notice it was tasteless. Either that or the alcohol just overpowered it, but it worked. She pops a maraschino cherry into her mouth.
Remind me not to get her mad.
Oh.
Hydration break.
I don't have water, so I'll drink my coffee. But you should always be reminded not to get her mad. Jacqueline's seen, although it's fun, sometimes it is fun to get her mad. He leans into Rollin.
Last Jack.
Psh, you can't hear me.
Well. Oh, I need purple glasses for when I go out in the sun, so I'm not blinded. We need to pick those up on the way back home.
All right. Did you want them to move up your hearing?
If they want to, the result's going to be the same regardless.
And when do you think that will be?
I don't know.
Well, then how do you know the result will be the same regardless?
Because it will be, regardless of what I think, of what time it happens. The result is the same.
Well, the Lady of Twilight said it could get done sooner with if I wanted to, since I'm back now. So, do you want it to?
Sure. That means I can go out and be an artificer again.
I think they're going to force you to be a druid.
I do not know inner peace, and I would be a very poor druid.
I mean, you never know. You could just rage garden.
No, I could be a spore druid.
You could be a wildfire druid.
I could be a wildfire druid. I'm gonna go tell your father that I'm going to be a wildfire druid. Start fires everywhere.
All right, but a druid whose basic garden is a junkyard, that's Anthony.
No, I can make a new form of druid craft and just bend metal everywhere.
That's not how that works.
I don't think that's.
I'm a druid. I can do whatever I want. I am now a
No.
mechanical whale.
No,
I don't
that's
think
not how
that's
that works.
No, I don't think so.
You know, we could just not have the trial and keep him locked up. That's totally fine with me. Jack says.
Well,
We could just kill
well,
him
this
again and
might
see if he
cheat, yeah.
comes back as a gnome.
That is true.
Don't kill me. Gnome artificers are amazing. I would be brilliant.
You'd still be you, just in a smaller body.
Easier
to deal with, more compact, fun size.
Easier to throw.
You really want to Freya's running around? Because that's what I would be. Oh, Rylan. Freya's still very mad at you.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yes. She'll probably bite you, but that's about it. Just so you know.
Do you want me to talk to her?
Maybe.
Alright.
When I can summon her again.
As they're walking back towards the court, Lucy will ping her her patron, Lady of Twilight, and let her know that Anthony's ready to get the trial over with whenever they're ready.
Okay. She tells you, give me a moment. And a few minutes after, she will announce that the trial will be held tomorrow morning.
She put me on hold. There's wait music.
It's the music that those who have the Roll20 open is playing. Is that music for the whole music?
It's going to be tomorrow. In the morning.
Oh, cool. Well, I should probably get some rest then.
Yes, you should get your beauty sleep. I don't think you've gotten nearly enough of it.
Gorgeous. I only sleep 4 hours a day and wake up beautiful.
You're all right. For enough.
Yeah.
I, however, make a fantastic elf, and she'll flip into her one of her aliases, the elf with the blue hair.
Is her name Delilah?
No, his name.
Ooh.
What is his name? This is one she's used before. It is. Let me pull him up. Boop, 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 boop. Where's Lucy? This one is Xavier. They're an elf with long blue hair, with a shaved white patch in their hair, deep brown skin with vitiligo and brown eyes.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Oh, I remember the
See, I'm cute.
the
You're something.
Uh, Jug hugs you from the side and gives you a kiss on the cheek. You're always cute.
See.
Okay. Well, how about we have some lunch, spend the rest of the day together, and get ready for your trial tomorrow, yeah?
Sounds perfect. I haven't suntanned in decades.
You're gonna be a lot more sensitive to the sun with that skin.
Oh, I know. That's why we're picking up sunglasses before we go home.
We get you like some SPF 1000 then.
Yeah.
He was fine the last time we went out.
I was also head to toe and everything.
You know,
I had
Uncle,
a
you
sun
could
hat.
just wear a really nice wide brim hat everywhere.
Good.
Fashion.
I like putting my hair up in a button.
You can still do that.
No,
Just a low bun.
I'm not on my head.
Well, you know what? I'm trying to help you. So you're walk and talk as you go get lunch. Jack, actually, you go to like your house, Fanner's house. And Jack will actually cook for everyone. Uh, it is it's a light lunch, nothing too heavy, but if we spend the day together, he'll also make dinner and he'll make the beef stew that he knows that Lucy likes. And been working on some nice fresh bread for that night as well.
Lucy
And
hovers
Fanners,
around him as he's
yeah.
cooking her favorite food.
He more than happily shows you what he's doing, kind of talks you through it. Even if you didn't ask, he's kind of just talking to you about what he's doing, what he's adding. He's like, this is the one that you really like, so this one, the spice, and um and he'll just talk with you. And Fanner's very happy that somebody else is cooking, that he has dinner, that you're all together. He's actually really, really happy that you're all together. Vera's there. She makes drinks for everyone, and it's a really nice night. It's a really nice family gathering with everyone. Very long overdue, very much needed after your work. You're all welcome to stay there. They have extra rooms, where you can go back to your rooms at the court. But is there anything you guys would like to talk about before you go to bed? Any conversations that you wish to have?
Fanor, how awful was he while I was gone?
Horrible. We're getting a divorce.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm a child of divorce now. Why? I finally have
You
a
want
family.
to stay
Why
with
are
your
you
Uncle
breaking it up?
Rowland while your dads are figuring it out?
No.
You can stay with me, Vera says.
Yes. She has
I'd
a
be the
hot
fun
tub.
uncle. Let you stay up.
I do have a hot tub.
I'll let you stay up past midnight and have all the beer you want,
I don't like beer.
all the wine you want.
She likes whiskey.
Also that.
I have a full liquor cabinet.
Rollin, you could bring the drinks to my house. We have a hot tub. It's great. It's gonna be great.
It is. It's really great. You can see the neighbors and they're very attractive.
They're very attractive. They are too. Some water and a fire genasi. Very attractive. I think they do it on purpose.
I mean, if
It's
I
a
looked like
steamy
them, I would
romance.
too.
I'm sure they've never heard that one before, Rollin.
I thought it was brilliant.
I'm so glad my children are all under the same roof to make me proud of them.
But as you spend some family time together, you're all welcome to stay there. Thaner has a very lovely house. It's very much covered in plants. Even the walls have a sort of ivy on them, and it's a lot of hanging flowers. And he has this central garden in the house where a tree comes up, and it's a open sky inner garden, and everything's made out of some sort of form of uh, it's very highly decorated with geodes and like splats of geodes as maybe coasters. Very beautiful plates, very colorful, but not in a bright sense where it like overwhelms you. It's all very cohesive, but it's all very floral. Um, but it is really really nice.
There is a noticeable hole in one of the walls.
Yeah, there is a noticeable. You can see straight into the master bedroom. That's your father's work.
I mean, to be fair, you could do some very interesting remodeling with what he's done.
Yes, I love having no privacy in my house.
I mean, you don't really need privacy most of the time. It's just the two of you.
I have guests over sometimes, like tonight.
Sometimes, but not all the time.
We moved my workbench.
He has a separate workshop now
Would you like us to leave?
because
Would you like us to leave so you can walk around naked? Is that what the issue
no,
is?
I do so anyways.
Okay.
I've threatened him with actual divorce should he ever blow up something in my house again. He
I
broke
did
my
it the
favorite
next day.
teapot. He
Yeah.
broke my favorite teapot. I didn't talk to him for 3 days.
Ooh, you were mad.
He has no respect. He didn't even apologize.
I did too. I bought you flowers.
He looks at his house. Yes. He bought me flowers.
Look, I'm still new to dating Faye.
I don't think that has anything to do with dating Faye. You're also not dating anymore. I think that stops when you're married.
Yeah, I think you can date while you're married too. Like just each other.
He hasn't even tried to replace my new teapot.
I can't find it.
Yeah, because it was a gift.
Well, if I find all the pieces, I can mend it.
Well, when you mend it, let me know and I might forgive you.
Right. Well, you two work this out. I'm just going to. Lucy inches towards the room with the tree. She's going to go climb the tree.
So as you do that, eventually you'll settle and you have a nice night. It's nice to have a night where you don't have to keep watch. You know you're safe. But unless there's any other conversations that you wish to have, your night passes. All right. Lucy, it is up to you. You have been comforted today. Some worries have been put to rest. So I would say it's at least a more comfortable sleep than the night before.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But you wake up early, knowing that the trial is that day. And Joe is there to escort you all. He waits for y'all to get ready. And he does remind you, he's like, if you wish to make an appeal or a statement on behalf of this character, you're more than welcome to. You're more than welcome to speak up on his behalf or defense, he says to Lucy and Rollin. But the rest will be up to the council and the Lady of Twilight.
I'd be happy to. say a few things. I have thoughts. More so now that I've
You're more
come
than
back.
you're more than welcome to air those thoughts out. But let's not keep her waiting. And you see, Joe is actually very much work mode. As much of a himbo he is, he does take his work seriously. Um, and he leads you all um into the court and into the great hall again. Um, right outside the doors, he pauses you all as he enters himself. And it takes a few minutes. You're all there on the outside of the doors. There are guards stationed there as well. But eventually he comes out and says, if you're all ready, they will see you now.
Let's boogie.
As these beautiful ornate doors open, you expect to see the Great Hall as it was, but it's actually changed for the situation. While the Lady of Twilight is at her quote unquote throne, not really. Um, at the main center point, there are other chairs around her, almost uh, in a crescent shape, as the other council members are there. You uh, know, while Fanor is there, he does have a personal tie, so um, uh, they trust him to be fair, but the others are they will look more towards the other for impartialness. Bryce is there. Um, Shadow and Echo are there. Viltai is there. Tobias is there, and so is Megara. Um, and there's a podium that's been raised up from the stonework um, for Anthony to stand at. And it's been extended on the sides, almost it's that kind of like bar from between the council and you. But at her share, you do see the Lady of Twilight, and it's make a perception check, whoever wishes.
12.
22.
22.
17.
17. Uh, Lucy, you don't see this at first. And it's hard to notice before she starts speaking. But today she is wearing a mask that is a skull that's thin. It's not anatomical, it's much more stylized, but it is thin and pressed against her face. It doesn't have a jaw, and it just covers up to where the teeth are. There's a space for her nose to come out, and you see paleness underneath where the jaw is, and you see lips. And at first, you think it's part of the mask until she starts speaking, and it moves.
Lucy smiles at her.
And um, and she's dressed what you would think a healing as such she would be dressed much more extravagant. She's actually dressed quite simply. She has a simple robes that are mostly black, but with tying colors of purples and pinks and blues and grays, the colors of the Twilight Court. And she speaks up and says, "We are here on behalf of Anthony Silverhorn to hear and pass judgment on his actions against the Twilight Court. While you have been given time to recover, we will take into consideration your recovery and the advancements you have made therein. You have the time now to speak in your own defense, Mr. Silverhorn.
I respect the council's decision, whatever the outcome may be. I respect the voices that will speak on both my behalf and those who will speak against my behalf. I understand and appreciate what is set before me. I will argue that influences such as I have discovered between the artifacts of corruption and my own failings are not entirely tied into one, but they are influenced by each other. While I would not openly aggress against the Lady of Twilight, let it be known it did happen.
On a personal note, do you believe that you should be allowed access as you were before the incident?
I'm not sure. We don't fully understand the effects of what happened to me. This corruption is deeper than we thought. There are things I still think linger. I think a slow progression and a slow easing into the way of things would be fine, but I think I am safe from moderation and a constant shadow at my back.
They nod. Have you felt any personal pull into this corruption in your time here?
No, but I feel there is something there. I don't know what it is, but it is there.
She nods, and you hear there's slight murmuring between the council members. Would any of you would like to speak on behalf of Anthony Silverhorn? And she looks to Lucy and Rollin.
Before I speak, I'd like to hear any arguments made against him.
You see, it's strange. It's this purple dragonborn who you've seen around, but you never got into a conversation with him. You've never gotten to know him as you have the other council members. He seems to always be at the side of the Lady of Twilight. But he speaks up and he has this deeper, growly voice. But he speaks up and says, if even you are admitting that there is still a touch of this corruption, the worry that it'll come back or influence your decisions among the court is there. I don't see why you should be permitted to fully integrate back if there's this danger here.
Pardon my arrogance, but I'm the only person who's been touched by these things that you know of and is willing to converse with you. I think my integration back into the world would be good, as we can see how this influence affects myself, others, and we can predict it out in the real world, intercept it.
You can be allowed to integrate back into the real world. My worry is about the court and my lady.
I've not been obtuse or wrong or rude or, well, I've not been unusual since my return. I've done the steps required of me. I've taken great actions and pains, and whatever was required of me, I followed because I want to be part of something.
And will that not, if the want is to just be part of something, will that not travel back into being part of chaos, this deity? We need to know where your loyalties lie, Mr. Silverhorn. They need to lie somewhere. You can't just cruise through neutrality.
I betrayed my lands in court for this one. I think we know where my loyalties lie.
Lucille squeeze his hand and stand. If I may I have the journal and notes that I brought back from our most recent trip?
Um, you see a guard. The Lady of Twilight nods, and you see a guard come up to her, and she hands him the books, the journals, and he hands them to you.
She will flip through them to get to where she has Anthony's notes stuffed in the pages and pull them out. While we were on our most recent trip, I uncovered some notes of Lord Silverhorn's, and she will, if there's somewhere where she can spread them out for the court to see as evidence,
Yeah,
she will.
there is if you ask for there will be uh similar to how it was in the dungeons, a table of sorts will kind of make itself from the ground that's more towards the center of the council, and you are able to display out your paperwork there.
She will take the old crumbling notes that she found and spread them out for everyone to look at. As far as Lord Silverhorn's loyalty to his court, or to this one, or to whichever one he chooses, before he ever knew any of you during the war, he had a commitment to the greater good, which he has demonstrated time and time again while in the service of the Lady of Twilight. During the war, he had the opportunity to inform his king of a metal alloy that may have tipped the war in their favor. And he chose to keep that from the king because he didn't see the need of any further bloodshed. He was a man doing his job, but he was also a man looking out for everyone, not just himself or his own people. And she'll indicate to the point in the notes where he's talking about the rare metal alloy that he was scared of giving to his king.
Mm-hmm. There are council members that step up and look over the notes and the letters and the blueprints. And they take a few minutes to look them over as you speak, and then sit back, and there's more talking between the council members.
If anything, Lord Silverhorn has always exemplified the principles which this court so fondly upholds. And that's to do things for the greater good, not for self-gain, or for self-profit. If anything, in this court, he's found a home that finally aligns with his own values.
A few more murmurs between the council members, and um, where is okay? Echo kind of speaks up. It says, well, it's all fine and dandy if he does betray his court, but what's to say he doesn't betray this court when he sees he doesn't align with his values anymore? Or his values change. And then you hear, um, actually, Viltai, the shifter sorcerer that you've seen that has this scratch marks over their face, says, well, we have proof that his morals seem to keep aligned to the same direction.
That's true.
And she points to the paperwork.
If you look at his writings, even when he was under the influence, it's clear that the influence was pushing him to do things for what he believed was the greater good. It wasn't until the artifact in question was attempted to be taken from him that he became volatile. Had he not had the artifact taken from him, it's possible to assume that he may not have ever attacked or hurt this court intentionally. Everything he has ever done has been for the greater good and for the advancement of science. In that regard.
Okay. Also forgot Ezra's also there. Because I just looked over his name. I confused him with a different character. I was like, that's not from this game. But Ezra's also there. It is hard to say what the curse would have done. After all, it is a curse, and while taking the item away from him was the reactor, if the item did influence his reaction, while he may have thought he was doing things for the greater good, if our findings are anything, it is most certain that he would have been doing things to advance the other side, but I think it speaks more to itself that his actions were and personality were quite different from what he's shown in this court. That the influence of this curse was what drove him to such things, and while there seems to be something lingering, I think that's something that our court could take care of to help to stave off. You see other court members nodding and speaking amongst themselves. And the Lady of Twilight will speak up as well. Mr. Rollin, is there anything that you'd like to say to the court as well, as you're here?
Forgive me, my lady, but what else is there to say? Mr. Silverhorn is a good man who thought they were doing good for the court. We all may have made mistakes in the past. If you're gonna damn him for this one, then well, I think that's a mistake as well.
Do any of you have any closing statements if you have nothing else to contribute to this trial?
Only this. That if this is a court that condemns victims of curses, as Mr. Silverhorn is a victim in this case, then I no longer wish to continue assisting in looking for these artifacts. Because truth of the matter is, it could have been any of us. It just happened to be Lord Silverhorn because he was carrying the item. Had myself or Rollin been carrying it on our person, we may have come to the same fate as him. Something for the court to consider. And Lucy will sit back down next to Anthony. Squeeze his hand.
Squeezing hers.
Shall I remind the defendants that this is a trial to hear about Mr. Silverhorn's character and his recovery?
As his acting physician, I can say that his recovery is going along smoothly. I've read his files from when we were away. I'm not have not given him a psych eval, but from what I can see, he is who he is, Lord Anthony Silverhorn. I don't see the influence of the curse in him. Maybe the curse of renovation.
I've heard. Seems blowing up rooms runs in the family. Now, the council will make the decisions. You are free to wait there or wait outside. But as she says this, with a flick of her hand, you see this shimmering wall appear. It's hard to see through the other side, and you can't hear any sounds from where they are sitting. It's like a frosted wall.
I really need her to teach me some of these tricks.
I want to learn that trick.
What do you think they're making for lunch today?
Coronation chicken.
Really?
Pretty good.
I was hoping for pasta.
That's for dinner.
Oh, good.
Nice pesto.
Pine nuts or no pine nuts?
Depends on the mood. What kind of wine are they serving?
I think they have stock of everything.
I'll be a little adventurous. Pine nuts.
Oh, that gives me an idea. I need
Banana
to talk to
and
the
pesto?
one cook in the kitchen. What?
You're not allowed in the kitchen.
Well, no, but I can talk to them outside the kitchen. And my idea doesn't involve the kitchen. It'll be fine. It'll be lovely. You're gonna enjoy it. It'll be fun. Just trust me.
Krishkov can swear now. She picked that up from soon.
Oh, good for her.
As your comment ends, you see a shimmer of light as the wall behind you, in front of you actually, fades away after I did my multiple rolls. Some of them were not that great. But the council is still there, all looking between the three of you. A verdict has been reached. Mr. Anthony Silverhorn, you'll be allowed back integration into the court should you keep up with the treatments that have been available to you during your recovery. You are going to be required to keep going to your doctors, and a check-in will be required as well.
That is an agreeable arrangement.
You will be reintegrated back into the court slowly. Your restrictions will be lifted, and you have no need for a guard to follow you around any longer. But you will be watched when you're in the court, and your experiments will have to go through a council to approve.
Starts to reach for his bag and pulls out a stack of blueprints, puts them on the table. There's 20 in here I need approved.
And the council shall get to them in time. It will be led by our own artificer, Asha. And while they are being under review, you are not allowed to try and sway the council.
Yep, I will not say what's in my head. I will not sway the council.
This is a serious matter, Mr. Silverhorn.
Very serious. And I appreciate the council's decision and progressive thoughts towards the integration of victims of curses?
This council understands curses. We understand that you were a victim of one. We are not ones to punish victims, but we are ones to take care of our own in a way that will protect our secrets, our council members, our people. We do not find you to be a flight risk, but there will be certain points and checkups being made to secure your own mental health and the well beings of others.
I appreciate the council's decision.
This trial is adjourned. These effects will be taken in immediately. There is no gavel, so
Mm-hmm.
you three are free to go.
Stand up and give bow my head, call Soon over, and put him on my shoulder.
Do you want Peanut too?
Oh, yes. Baby whole peanut.
As you turn to leave, there's someone who comes and takes your blueprints, and the paperwork is retrieved as well that was on the table, and you can assume they've been taken in for review. But yeah, I rolled pretty well to convince myself. So I was like, hey, damn, I hope I roll well. I rolled a 2 and a 3, but I also rolled an 18 and a natural 20. So between the council members. So
Lucy
as we
is
leave and wander into the hallway, Anthony will flick his hand and hold his hand up as a small Freya appears in his hand, and he just scratches her head. But the world's back to normal.
I'm glad that went well. I am going to go speak to someone. See you all at dinner. It's going to be great.
What are you doing?
Gonna go. Well, yes. What
about
are
it.
you doing?
Dinner in the main hall.
We're gonna go swimming.
No, it's almost dinner time. I have to hurry. I'll be back. Well, I won't be back, but I'll see you
lunch.
there. Bye.
Lunchtime.
Freya honks loudly at Rylan.
Just a small, like, not even just a scratch under the chin.
Little goose nip.
Ow. Is she okay?
She's still mad that you blew her up.
I didn't blow Lucy up.
Oh.
No, you blew Freya up.
You blew Freya up, yeah.
Yeah. I was asking if I know Freya's pissed at me. I'm just
I don't know. Goes the bar, I suppose.
Peanut's currently
A
licking
few
Freya up
moments.
the side of her face.
A few moments after Fëanor does come out, and he gives you a big hug, Anthony.
Hug him, kiss the side of his head. I was polite. I didn't say half the things I wanted to in that meeting.
You could have.
I could have, but then I was just shouted at everybody.
I'm glad you were on your best behavior. I'm also glad for deserting and that they're forcing you to keep going to your therapist.
Yes. That Dragonborn, do they not like me?
Why would you think that?
I don't know.
You can't expect the whole council to agree with your decisions and actions. That doesn't mean they don't like you.
I mean, that's fair.
Have you ever talked to Tobias? You didn't even know his name.
To be fair, they've never talked to me. It
You
goes
take
both
the job very
ways.
seriously.
We're going to get drinks, Rylan and I, at the bar. We were going to go have Coronation chicken.
All right. I'll
What did-
join you.
Okay, good.
He gives you a kiss and ushers y'all to the bar. Lucy seems nowhere to be found.
Coronation's perfect if you're feeling a little peckish.
I'm about to peck your eyes out. But you have your lunch and the rest of your day. Eventually dinner does come. There's some real nice pasta. There's variation. There's anything with white sauce and Alfredo for anyone who prefers it. Whether it was chicken or shrimp. There is some really nice. I said, fuck, what was the name? Penne, vodka penne? I don't know.
Penne alla vodka.
That one. It has the word vodka in it. It was really fucking good.
There's
And there's just
mysteriously no marinara to go on the pasta.
there's
on the bar.
There's spaghetti. There's other types of pasta you would have with red sauce, but there's no red sauce.
Oh,
Lucy,
good,
would you
you're all
like to
here.
explain what happens?
Oh, good, you're all here.
Uh-huh.
Get the spaghetti. Trust me, it's gonna be great. Come on, get your plates. Go, 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 go.
Okay.
She's shooing everybody.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Come here. She takes them over to one of the walls where there's like a fountain and it has like a cherub that normally spits water, and she reaches below it to push a button and it starts spitting marinara sauce and the fountain fills with the marinara. It's completely hygienic. I worked it out with the cooks. We cleaned the whole thing, replaced the parts that need to be replaced, and then we spent all afternoon filling it.
Roland puts down his pasta, walks over to the table again, takes some bread, and then just dips it in the fountain.
What do you think?
There's some really good like breadsticks and cheesy bread and garlic bread.
It's like giant fondue, but with bolognese.
Yes! See, I told you it would be great. I only have good ideas.
Make an artificer out of you yet.
Oh, no.
Terrifying.
Why?
But with this lovely pasta sauce fountain and pasta night, you're able to have a good end to your day. A good trial was had, and you are still on vacation for whatever you wish to do next session. This is what we will end off. But thank you everyone so much for joining us on this little on our game. I had fun having a more lighthearted session since we've been in at 10 episodes of this fucking Dread Isle. But hi everyone, my name is Satan. We'll do our little outros. You can find stuff about me on Twitter. It doesn't matter. I'm a little tired, so I'm gonna give you a brief description of what charity I support. I support Stop AAP I Hate. They are a charity and an organization that helps and works directly with the API community. If you go to their link that is in the description the chat, thanks to our lovely producer, you can find out about them more. And there's also a link to an anti-Asian violence resource where you get updates, links to how to be a better ally, links to charities to donate to, links of things that you can do for help this community. But that's me. We'll go back in the same excuse me. The same RJ. Go.
The same RJ. Hey everybody, it's me, RJ. Today I'm championing the Black Visions Collective, which is a Black, trans, and queer organization dedicated to dismantling systems of oppression and violence. Grim yet kind reminder that tax day is tomorrow, Monday, May 17th. And if you do get your refund, donations are tax deductible, baby. Help us out. I don't know. That's my bet. I got to do my taxes.
Hi, I'm Jen, and I am championing the Alzheimer's Society in the UK. They are the leading dementia charity. They campaign for change. They fund research to find a cure and support those living with dementia and Alzheimer's within the UK. Uh, they support families, they support charity events, they bring people together who are going through Alzheimer's and dementia through support groups and online meetings, as we are a global community and they want to connect with the rest of the world. So that's who I'm championing.
And that just leaves me. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today. This was a very fun session for all of us. Well, for me to do. I don't know about the rest of you, but I had a fantastic time today after all of the grim darkness of our previous story arc, which, for those of you who don't know, if you missed out on that story arc, it was wonderful. We had Saucefire with us. You can see that on YouTube. Link is down below for how to find that YouTube link if you want to check it out. My charity of choice is the trevorproject.org. That is the charity that this channel donates to now throughout the year. We will be making today a $173 donation. Thank you, everyone in the community, and to my fellow players for helping me do this. Getting to give back to these charities has been an absolute highlight of 2020 and 2021 for me. Thank you, everyone, for letting me do this and being on this journey with me. And with that, if you'd like to see any of these lovely people elsewhere on the internet, the link to find all of our social media is in the bio, is in the bio and in the I forgot the word for it too, in the chat. We're all tired and hungry right now, so we're gonna say goodbye. Go drink your water. It's important to hydrate. Take your meds if you haven't taken them yet today. Eat a healthy snack, and don't forget to tell someone important to you that you love them today. And we will see you all next time. Okay. Everybody wait.
I love
Bye.
all of you.
I love you.
Love
Oh
you.
my gosh.
Love you guys.
No, you.